Hello everyone. Today we're working on the battle bike here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my front fork. This is the original one to the ATC 110. As you notice, is a solid mount. The one I'm going to put on has the suspension, which is what I want. Plus it'll raise the front of the bike up more, which gives me the ride height I want. As you can see, I have it on jack stands. Not a very good view, but that's pretty much the ride height that I want. Keeps the tank nice and flat, and that's what I want. So the first step is to take off the handlebars, and to do that you would remove this cover, which has two Phillips screws under it, and you would pull this off, and underneath that you would have four, I believe they're 12mm bolts crimping down on the handlebars. You would take those off as well. And the next thing you would take off is the triple tree. It's got two 14mm bolts right here. No, I believe they're 17. And then in the middle here, you take a crescent wrench and take off that center bolt right there holding on the bearing. And then once you take that off, the fork should be able to slide out. And you have bearings here and bearings up here. They're ball bearings, so be sure you have a cup ready in order to catch those. And you have your headlight wiring for your kill switch and everything. Go ahead and disconnect those. Your wheel, you're going to want to take that off. Usually that's a 17mm bolt as well. I believe this one's a little bit bigger. And if you have any headlights or other accessories, you want to take that off as well. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll show you guys more when I'm done. Alright, I'm back. Took the triple tree off. So this is what I got. So you got the two brackets right here, and you got this bolt with a washer on it. And on the bottom here, you take off these two 14mm bolts because you would want to reuse these, because this triple tree is not compatible with the new axle I'm putting on. The new axle that came off the 200S is slightly wider than the original. So be sure you have the triple tree along with your fork so you can go ahead and put it on here. Now, it does slide through. All that should be the same size, but as far as this goes, you're going to need to get that replaced. And another thing I forgot to mention was this piece right here. This is your bearing cap, so basically it holds the center of your fork on, so you would tighten this down with a screwdriver or some sort of special tool. Mine was already loose, which probably wasn't good. Underneath it, you would find another special washer that keeps the bearings seated. And there's little tiny ball bearings in here. I actually counted when I took the bottom out. There should be about 21 ball bearings in here. So be sure you do not lose these because you're going to need them. And be sure you don't lose this washer because you'll need that as well. And then when you put the new fork on, you go ahead and tighten this up as well. I want to show you guys one more thing. These are my shocks. You're able to take them off of the fork. On the fork here, you would have four 14mm bolts here and here. And I got one missing, and these bolts hold on the fender. But what these do is they clamp onto the shock, so you put the shock way in there until it seats in, and then you would take the screwdriver if you were to take it off and just pry this apart, so this would be easy to come out. If it's a little rusty, go ahead and put some lube in there. And over here, I decided to show you guys before and after, so I went ahead and polished this one up, and this one I haven't gotten to yet, but they're actually different. So this one goes on, I believe, the right side, and this one goes on the left side where the brake is, because the brake, I believe, no, I'm sorry, the brake goes on this side, so I think this is the left. I'm not sure. I'll show you guys later. But the bolt is also different. It's got a long sleeve on one side, which this clamps onto, and the hex head part sticks out. And the threaded part goes in through here, so this part would seat against the wheel, and as well as this part. And I'm gonna go ahead and put that on, and I'll show you guys that here in a minute. Alright guys, she's on the ground. A couple things I had to do. In here, there was a fork. It was like a piece of metal that came out. It was basically a steering stopper, so you didn't bottom your wheel out all the way as you were turning. There was one in the front here, so I had to cut that off, and I had to like notch out this pinch weld here just to get it to barely clear, and it clears really well. And I put this part, it's got the hex head and it's rounded inside of here. I don't know if you see that, but there's 4 bolts. This is the cap and this comes off and it clamps on around this bolt part. And on the other side over here, it's threaded. You just got cast aluminum that the bolt goes into, and this part goes on the left side, of course. I'm not sure if it really matters or not, but whatever side the brake is on, you have to make sure it falls into that little sleeve in there. And but yeah, that's pretty much it. What else? I'm able to use my kickstand now that I got the fork on. And it's pretty much at the ride height that I want. I want to get bigger tires now because it looks a little small. I'm not sure if it's an illusion because that one looks bigger. And maybe it's just the lighting or the illusion it's at. But overall looks pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but my headlight had those goofy brackets on there. I don't think I'm going to reuse those. I want to actually weld on these tabs, just cut it right here and weld it onto the fork. I think that'll give it a much cleaner look. And maybe tuck it in back further so it gives it more low profile, because that's the kind of look I'm going for. But also the fork had these things on it. They're those little rubber boots that go on here to keep mud from getting inside the shock. I like to find some more, but these are getting hard to find, and plus, you know, they only last a couple years so they start rotting out. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And I also have a fender that came off my other fork. I drilled 4 new holes because the bolts go in vertically on this fork here. So I'm gonna retro this in here a little bit, and I think that'll make it look a little more complete. Also, I got the black flap that goes on the bottom here, and I'm gonna add that on as well to make it look more symmetrical. And I'm gonna trim off the sides a little bit because I don't like all this detail. I just want it to look nice and plain. So I might cut it along this body line. I think that'll make it look a lot better. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all that real quick, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Good morning, everyone. This is the finished product. This trimming to the fender. It looks better, but still needs some adjustments. I'm still not 100% satisfied with the way it looks, but I'll probably do some more work on it or get another fender that looks better. Over here, I decided to weld on these tabs to the fork, and I figured it gives it a much cleaner look. And there's the front view. Looks really good. Painted the fork and everything, cleaned it all up. I'm happy with it. And it also gives me the ride height that I want. Brought the front of the bike up a lot more, which makes me much happier. This tire looks small now, but I mean, they're brand new. I haven't used them yet, but I'm gonna keep an eye out for some bigger tires. I like to get some all-terrains because I want to drive this thing on the street as well. But yeah, looks pretty good. My next thing is to get the chain fixed right here. My chain tensioners came in, so I'm gonna weld them or bolt them to the frame and see what I can do. Because what I gotta do is I gotta make one of them. I bought 2 wheels. One's gonna be idler, one's gonna actually adjust the chain when it stretches out over time. But I'm gonna see what I can do about that. But overall, it's coming along pretty good. But yeah, now that that's done, I'm gonna go ahead and work on the chain, and I'll keep you guys up to date. Thanks for watching.